Summer has a way of doing something the rest of the year conveniently does not. It puts you in the same space as the people you have been managing at a comfortable distance. The family gathering. The holiday. The shared week that the calendar assembled without asking whether everyone involved was ready for sustained proximity. The person you genuinely find difficult, not abstractly difficult, specifically difficult, the one whose name came to mind immediately when I started this sentence, is going to be at the table. For an extended period. With fewer exits than the rest of the year provides. Here is something I want to offer about that. God put you in the same room. Not passively, not simply as the accidental outcome of a shared family tree or a social obligation that was difficult to decline. The God who orders the details of his children's lives allowed this proximity. Which means, and I say this knowing it is not easy to receive, there may be something in this season, in this relationship, in this particular difficulty, that is not merely to be endured but to be inhabited faithfully. St. Paul wrote, "As far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone." Not, make the relationship easy. Not, feel warmly toward the person you find most difficult. As far as it depends on you, do your part. This prayer is for the difficult relationship that summer has brought into the same room. Let's pray. Lord Jesus Christ, summer has put me in the same space as someone I find difficult. Not by accident, the holiday, the family gathering, the vacation that brings people together who the ordinary year conveniently keeps at a manageable distance. The scheduling that works its way toward a shared table, a shared roof, a shared car journey, a shared week that requires a proximity that ordinary life does not. And the proximity is real. Not the managed distance of a phone call where the conversation can be concluded when the tension rises. Not the controlled exposure of a brief visit. The sustained, shared space, nowhere to retreat proximity of summer. I will be honest, I have been bracing for this. The specific person, the specific dynamic, the specific way that this relationship brings out something in me that I do not like, the defensiveness, the impatience, the withdrawal, the performance of fine over the reality of found this very difficult. I have been preparing my responses to anticipated provocations. I have been calculating how to minimize the interactions while maintaining the appearance of normal. I have been doing the relational arithmetic of how many meals together is the minimum that charity requires. And I am bringing all of that calculation here today. Because I do not think it is the right approach. And I do not think I can get to the right approach on my own. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Romans 12 verse 18. Father, let me name what summer specifically does to difficult relationships. It removes the structures that manage distance. During the regular year, the busyness of work and school and separate routines creates a natural spacing. The difficult relationship is encountered in specific, limited doses, and then the ordinary demands of the separate life provide recovery time. Summer disrupts this. The gatherings are longer. The shared space is more continuous. The recovery time between interactions is reduced. It raises the stakes of every interaction. A difficult conversation at a Christmas dinner lasts an evening. A difficult conversation at a week-long family holiday lasts the week. The consequences of a badly handled moment have more time to reverberate. The pressure to manage the relationship well is higher precisely because the exposure is longer. It brings unresolved things into closer proximity. The family gathering in July contains the same history as the family gathering at every other time of year, the old patterns, the inherited dynamics, the childhood wounds and the adult resentments and the things that were never fully addressed. Summer does not create these things. It concentrates them. Places them in a smaller space for a longer time. And it removes the easy escapes. The work commitment, the prior engagement, the reasonable excuse to leave early or arrive late. Summer has fewer of these. The expectation of presence is higher. The social cost of absence is more visible. I am not asking you to remove the difficulty of the relationship. I am asking you to help me be in it better than I currently am capable of being in it by my own resources. Lord, before I pray about how I feel about this person, help me to see them the way you see them. Because when a relationship is difficult, the vision narrows. The person reduces to the function they play in my life, the source of the tension, the origin of the frustration, the one who reliably produces in me what I would prefer not to feel. They stop being a full human being with their own fears and wounds and history and become, in the calculus of the difficult relationship, primarily a problem. You do not see them that way. You see the whole person. The history that shaped the behavior I find most difficult, the wound or the fear or the pattern received from someone who received it from someone else, transmitted through generations without anyone choosing it. The person they are when they are not in relationship with me, what they are like with people who bring out something different. The good in them that the difficulty of our relationship has made temporarily invisible to me. Help me to see some of that today. Not to excuse what genuinely needs to be named, but to hold the difficulty alongside the full humanity of the person who is difficult, because that is the only way charity toward them is possible, and charity is what I am being asked for. Do not repay anyone evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. Romans 12 verse 17. Father, I want to look honestly at my own part in this dynamic. Because difficult relationships are rarely entirely the other person's production. And I have sometimes held this relationship as though it were, as though I were simply the injured party in a situation caused entirely by the other person's failings, and the only work I needed to do was to endure their behavior with appropriate grace. I confess that I have contributed to the difficulty. In ways I am aware of and probably in ways I am not. The ways my own defensiveness has escalated rather than de-escalated. The ways my withdrawal has communicated rejection that produced in them the very behavior I find most difficult. The ways my management of the relationship, the careful navigation, the strategic avoidance, the performed fine, has kept both of us from the honesty that might actually change something. I confess the uncharitable interior commentary. The running criticism that plays in my head when we are together, noting failures, cataloging irritations, building the case that justifies the emotional distance I maintain. The unkindness that never becomes audible but that shapes how I inhabit the shared space in ways the other person probably feels even without being able to name exactly what they are feeling. And I confess the assumption that change must come from them before the relationship can improve. The waiting for the other person to become different before I offer something different, which is understandable and which has also kept me contributing to the stuck pattern we are both in. Show me what is mine to change. Starting with my own interiority, the way I hold this person in my heart, before any external interaction changes. Lord, I want to receive today what the church means by charity toward difficult people, because I have sometimes confused charity with the performance of warmth I do not feel. Charity does not require that I feel warmly toward this person. Feelings are not directly commanded, they follow from actions and from grace, but they are not themselves the thing I am asked to produce on demand. I cannot manufacture warmth towards someone who genuinely frustrates me by deciding to feel it. What charity requires is that I will their genuine good. Not what I want from them, not the version of them that would make the relationship easier for me, their actual good. Their flourishing as a person. Their relationship with you. The healing of whatever in them produces the difficulty. Charity requires that I speak truthfully, not that I suppress what needs to be named in the service of a false peace, but that when I speak it is from the genuine desire for the relationship's health rather than from the desire to discharge the anger that has been building. Charity requires patience, the specific patience of the person in the extended shared space who has been provoked and has chosen not to respond from the provocation. The patience that counts to 10. The patience that leaves the room briefly. The patience that waits until the reactive moment has passed before saying what needs to be said. And charity sometimes requires the hard conversation. Not the conflict for its own sake, the honest naming of what is happening between us, offered not as an attack but as the care that wants the relationship to be more real than the managed version both of us have settled for. Speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of Him who is the head, that is, Christ. Ephesians 4 verse 15. Father, I want to receive today the example of the most holy family that ever existed, and remember that it was not without its own difficulties. Mary and Joseph had to flee as refugees with a newborn in the night. They lost their 12-year-old son for 3 days in Jerusalem and found him doing something they did not understand. They watched their son begin a public ministry that brought hostility and division. They stood at the foot of a cross. The Holy Family was holy not because its relationships were without difficulty, but because the difficulty was inhabited faithfully. Because the love that sustained it was a chosen love, not a feeling that persisted through all circumstances but a commitment that held through them. In my difficult summer relationship, let me be a member of the family I am part of the way Joseph was a member of his. Present. Faithful. Not requiring the relationship to be easy in order to be good at being in it. Holy Family of Nazareth, you who navigated difficulty with holiness, pray for this relationship today. Father, I receive St. Paul's honesty in Romans 12 verse 18. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, not, make the relationship easy by force of will. Not, produce peace where peace is not currently being chosen by both parties. As far as it depends on you, do what is yours to do. Live at peace to the extent that you can, with what you have, in the actual circumstances of this relationship. That is the scope. Not beyond my part. My part. I will show up to the shared space with the willingness to try again. With the charity that wills their good even when the feeling is not warm. With the patience that does not respond from the reactive place. With the honesty that names what needs to be named from a place of care rather than frustration. As far as it depends on me, I will try. The rest belongs to you. And to the choices of the other person. And to the grace that can do what human effort and human goodwill cannot do alone. God put us in the same room. Perhaps He knows what He is doing. Amen. May the difficult relationship that summer has placed in the same room with you be inhabited better than you currently feel capable of inhabiting it. Not by suppressing what is genuinely difficult, charity does not require that pretense. By bringing what is genuinely yours to bring, the willingness to see the full human being behind the frustrating behavior. The patience that does not respond from the reactive place. The honesty that names what needs to be named from care rather than from discharge. May the conversation that needs to happen find its moment. May the moment that needs the silence find the grace to be silent. May the charity that wills the other person's genuine good persist even when the feeling supporting it is thin. As far as it depends on you, do your part. The rest belongs to God. And He put you in the same room for a reason. Holy Family of Nazareth, who inhabited difficulty with holiness, pray for this relationship today. If these daily Catholic prayers are part of your life, support this channel through the PayPal link in the description. Every contribution keeps a new prayer coming every single day through July. Thank you if you feel led. New Catholic prayer on this channel every single day. Subscribe and turn on notifications. If this prayer named a specific relationship, leave a comment. Just doing my part. Your honesty gives permission to everyone reading who is in the same room with the same difficulty. Like this and share it with someone navigating a difficult relationship this summer. They need this. Thank you for praying with me. God put you in the same room. I'll see you tomorrow.